surely a top priority for Canadian taxpayers. It's a place for smart people, though, and Justin Trudeau isn't terribly smart. He confuses things like decimals and decibels.
You know, I'm not going to go around reciting pi to the 19th decibel.
He confuses science with cool-sounding things to say to a girl at a bar.
We have to rethink elements as basic as space and time to go all science fiction-y on you in this sense.
And sometimes Trudeau thinks people are joking when they ask him real questions, even about geography.
Favorite Baltic nation? That's not a thing.
Yeah, the Baltics are a thing. Well, there he was at the Perimeter Institute, surrounded by really smart people, and he had been practicing something to say that sounded smart. So being a former substitute drama teacher, he studied his lines about quantum computing, the smartest sounding thing he could think of. Basically just the first few sentences about it on the Wikipedia website. And then in the press conference, in the scrum afterwards, he asked the reporters assembly to ask him a question about it. As in he had spent probably an hour rehearsing his lines about quantum computing, sounding super smart in the bathroom mirror, and now he really wanted someone to ask him about it, and no, reporters wanted to ask him about other things, the budget, the Islamic State, whatever, so no. Well, Trudeau was going to say his line no matter what. Take a look at Trudeau asking to be asked about quantum computing, a reporter declining to ask him about it, and Trudeau giving his rehearsed lines anyways.
When we get to the media questions later, I'm really hoping people ask me how quantum computing works.
I was going to ask you to explain quantum computing, but when do you expect Canada's ISIL mission to begin again? And are we not doing anything in the interim while we prepare?
Okay. Very simply, normal computers work by... Don't interrupt me. When you walk out of here, you will know more. Well, no, some of you will know far less about quantum computing, but most of you, normal computers work either there's power going through a wire or not. It's 1 or a 0. They're binary systems. What quantum states allow for is much more complex information to be encoded into a single bit. Regular computer bit is either a 1 or a 0, on or off. A quantum state can be much more complex than that because, as we know, things can be both particle and wave at the same times, and the uncertainty around quantum states allows us to encode more information into a much smaller computer. So that's what's exciting about quantum computing, and that's what we're Don't get me going on this, or we'll be here all day, trust me.
Now, it's sort of pitiful in a way. I mean, do you think he could really talk about that subject all day? I mean, do you really think he could? Do you think he could talk about it for one more sentence without studying another rehearsed line? Do you think he could answer any questions about what he just said? But look, he's dumb. We know he's dumb. He's handsome, but he's dumb. But he managed to spit out his Wikipedia definition without screwing it up. Give him that. He practiced it. It was like his yoga pose, but for smart kids. He just practiced it for show-off time. So the actual working reporters who were there, they rolled their eyes. They had news to report, and Trudeau was becoming increasingly evasive about substantive questions. But so what? He spat out the Wikipedia line he memorized, and it was all on video. So the reporters who were embedded in the Liberal campaign, yeah, they groaned. But the Liberals embedded in the media offices were delighted. They had enough, and they went to work. Look at how Global News ran the story. PM Justin Trudeau gives reporter quick lesson on quantum computing during visit to Waterloo. Here's the Liberal activist embedded at Maclean's magazine. Justin Trudeau's quantum leap, before Trudeau surprised reporters by explaining the basics of quantum computing. He stunned physicists in Waterloo with his understanding of their field. Really? Did Justin Trudeau really stun physicists with his understanding? Why, yes. Yeah, you can trust Maclean's magazine, can't you? Here's the U.S. news site, Slate. I just got to read a few sentences. Give me a minute. You got to do it. Handsome Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stands in front of a chalkboard full of comically complicated math equations. A journalist asks him to explain quantum computing. Tired of being treated like a himbo meme queen, Trudeau proceeds to deliver a succinct explanation of quantum mechanics vis-a-vis computing. And it was all captured in a video that by any reasonable definition qualifies as softcore porn. The journalist was kidding when he said, "I was going to ask you to explain quantum computing, but..." before pausing, tittering at his joke, and launching into a question about Canada and ISIL. But Trudeau collected himself and began to explain, very simply, normal computers work by... As the crowd applauded, he stopped them. No, don't interrupt me. Justin was determined to prove to this treasonous member of the press, nay, the entire world, that he's more than just a pretty face, unquote. I don't think that's satire. That's a news reporter for a news website. She's just being a bit more candid about her affections for Trudeau than, say, the CBC's reporter who wrote, "A journalist calls Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's bluff and asks him to explain quantum computing. To everyone's surprise, he does so with ease." That CBC version of the video has 7 million views online when I checked. Cutting off the setup question, though, where Trudeau asks to be asked about it, of course. Here's Fortune magazine headline, "Justin Trudeau explains quantum computing and the crowd goes wild." Here's Vanity Fair. "Man of your dreams, Justin Trudeau casually drops quantum computing lecture in press conference." And the beloved Canadian PM was well prepared for a challenge to his computing know-how. These are news reporters. Here's Time magazine, the great Time magazine. Watch Justin Trudeau explain quantum computing to a sarcastic reporter. And when a journalist implied that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau couldn't explain quantum computing, the PM smiled and called his bluff. Look, we don't have all day, so I won't show you the other 200 news reports in the identical vein. Probably 100 million people saw that video. Probably 99.99 million of them didn't see the transparent request for Trudeau trying to tee up that clip.
When we get to the media questions later, I'm really hoping people ask me how quantum computing works.
So I don't blame Justin Trudeau for trying super hard to come across as smart. He knows he's not an intellectual, and the media knows it too. Look, if Stephen Harper had rattled off a minute of first-year college-level quantum theory, the media wouldn't be impressed. They always knew he was smart. Harper probably would get barbs for trying to be a show-off. The media here were ecstatic, though, that they had pretty good video proof of just how super smart Trudeau could be. And just look at all of those complicated equations on the chalkboard behind him. He probably wrote those out himself to the 19th decimal point. I'm not mad that Trudeau is a show-off. Most politicians are. I'm not mad at the foreign press who bought the lie that some snarky reporter tried to pick a fight with Trudeau and was put in his place. That's a compelling storyline. No, I'm mad at the Canadian media who were there, who knew what happened, who saw what happened, who were there, who saw Trudeau asking to be asked, who saw a real reporter try to ask something else and be pushed aside by Trudeau's little drama sketch. And then those Canadian reporters who ran with it, like fawning reporters in North Korea, crying with tears of joy with how brilliant their leader is. These are the reporters we rely on to tell us the truth. What else are they lying about? You just can't trust the mainstream.